Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, senior economist, and here are the headlines while we were away. And before I get into the headlines, in reality, I want to talk about this tweet that is going around Twitter saying that it looks like some sort of bank blew up because of the silver trade, and it could be UBS, Credit Suisse, JPM, and I can assure you that none of those banks would go down over a silver trade. Also, you can go to the Fed's webpage and look at the overnight repo and what was taken in, and there was nothing unusual there, and there was no $34 billion repo facility in the overnight. And so everybody seemed hyped up over this, and that is just not the reality of the situation at all. What instead is more likely is on December 26th, CME, we talked about this a little bit, CME sent a notice out and saying they were raising overnight margins for the silver trade that comes into effect tonight after the close. So for the evening open session that comes into effect. So when margin requirements are increased, the holders of the contracts, you either have to deposit more cash or eligible securities. Alternately, you can sell assets to cover that shortfall if you don't have it. If not, these positions will be forcibly liquidated, often at bad prices, by the exchange. And so this does add to some volatility because I'm sure there are some people in these contracts that probably cannot afford the increase in the overnight margin. So just keep that in mind as well. Also, it's still the holiday times. Firms are thinly staffed. And so, this process can take a little bit longer with people moving in and out of positions. So more likely that's causing the increased volatility and this move down more than anything else. And I assure you it was not a bank blowing up entirely over a silver trade. The banks are fine. Moving on, we have Russia's CPC oil terminal to halt intake on bad weather with storage full. So why this is important, this is their Caspian Pipeline Consortium. They're going to stop taking oil. Now, this is also going to affect Kazakhstan because they ship most of their crude through this pipeline. And they've been known overproducers anyway and known over exporters. They get scolded at every month from OPEC, but we won't know how long this will last, but it will last at least a few days, and so we'll see what happens with that. Also, on kind of the geopolitical front, on that, we had Trump speaking. He said, I hear Iran is trying to build up again. And the NBC said Netanyahu may brief Trump on possible new Iran strikes. So something obviously to keep in mind, because if that comes to fruition, you might want to get out of the way of oil to the upside. But in the meantime, it hasn't really affected price today because we've kind of heard these threats before and nothing happened. Well, we did once earlier this year, but since then we've heard a few times that this may or may not happen. So just if you're trading oil, keep an eye on the headlines. I certainly will post anything in the chat should that come to fruition. Again, it won't be today. Then we had corn slumping the most in a month with focus on the China grain reserve. So corn had its biggest intraday losses in over a month as traders sought demand signals to break the markets out of their holiday doldrums. So there is talk that China could release domestic grain reserves that kind of weighed on corn, because that means that they're releasing their own reserves rather than buying from the U.S. So we'll have to see what happens with that. We'll also have to watch what happens with this peace deal or not peace deal with Ukraine, if that ever happens, because obviously both Russia and Ukraine are huge grain importers, and that goes through the Black Sea, and so that will matter as well. And kind of segueing into that, we have Putin said that Ukraine had targeted one of his residences with a drone, and he said intend to work closely with the U.S. on peace efforts, but they are going to reconsider a number of previously reached agreements due to this affront on the to President Putin's house. And there are speculations that this may or may not be true, but again, just something also to keep in mind, since that does seem to bear on oil and the grain trade as well. And very quickly, I know I'm out of time, but I just wanted to go, equity bears emerged to bring echoes of past S&P 500 pullbacks. So there's plenty of, everybody's very bullish on stocks, but there is one measure that shows bears are gaining ground, and this is the spread between the AII's bullish and bearish equity sentiment gauge. It now stands at 2.6. That's the closest it's been below zero since the last negative reading on December 3rd, and such spells of below zero levels have coincided with pullbacks in the S&P 500 this year, so just keep that in mind. And with that, I'll hand it off to Jim for an Edge Report.
Thank you, Tracy. Great explanation on margins and margin calls. In the old days before the electronic platforms, we had to send my cousin Mario to your house to try to collect on the margin calls. Thank God we don't have to do that anymore. But that's a pretty good explanation about what's going on in silver right now. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's a little different. And by the way, Sean, Tracy answered that right off the bat. The answer is no. JP Morgan is fine. Gold right now, today's candle is just beyond interesting for a whole bunch of different reasons. First of all, it's pretty big. Second of all, it is a bearish engulfing candle that engulfs 6 days worth of candle bodies going back in time. That's a pretty big deal. That's a paradigm shift. Number two, we've taken out to the downside the October 20th highs, that swing high where my crosshairs is. We've taken that out. We've taken out the 8 EMA. We were walking nicely up that 8 EMA, and it did an abrupt 90-degree turn to the downside. The 21 EMA, we've wicked through that, and we're almost at it right now. We're almost closed at it right now. So that's a pretty negative phenomenon as well. We're below that 44,000 level. So there's a lot of negativity coming off of this chart. I am at least temporarily bearish here in gold. Looking at the intraday chart, all of the JAX numbers, all the call resistance, put resistance levels are way, way higher. We lost VWAP in the rearview mirror at 1 o'clock, 1:30. This is a 30-minute candle I just toggled over to, and we have not even gotten close to it since. And not only that, that 9 EMA, forget about it. We're just it's really defining the top of the conversation every single candle here. The volume profile, it's just a wonky volume. It's a bad volume profile from a textbook point of view. We have volume clusters overnight. We have a potential point of control way up high right throughout that London initial balance. And then we just fell out of bed, created an official point of control all the way down here at 43.47.7. Kind of toward the bottom end of the initial balance here in the U.S. So this is looking pretty pretty negative, to say the least. We have price dropping, but we do have CCI increasing. So a little bit of divergence there between my oscillator and price. So we'll see if that means anything or not. Probably not. I think that 9 EMA and certainly the VWAP are going to be pretty sticky going into the rest of the session. Let's shoot over to copper. Dr. Copper, we talked about this a couple hours ago. Let's just update that. Let's refresh that conversation. If you weren't here this morning, we did talk about this contract as well. Bearish engulfing candle again, gap filled, hitting that 8 EMA. We traced below the 50% retracement as that is defined by the bottom of the diamond all the way to today's top overnight. And this is, again, pretty bearish on the downside right here. Whether it's profit taking, I don't know. I didn't see any macro news that really was going to define this big movement that we're seeing here in copper, but you never know what the reason is. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But this is called a bearish engulfing. It's pretty negative here. The diamond was supposed to be a bearish diamond, and it wasn't the case. It was a bullish diamond. We popped back up. So my next target down here is this 5.275. If we even get down there at the beginning of the right at the bottom of the diamond, or right by these swing peak highs here. So that's support, really long-term support in copper. Intraday, same story as in gold. We lost VWAP in the rearview mirror. We've created this giant weird volume profile down here at the bottom of the chart, right between the U.S. initial balance. We haven't deviated anywhere from S2 all day long here in copper. So pretty much done for the day, most likely in copper. And just kind of looking at the volumes. Where's my volumes at here? Let's go to metals. Copper has done 95,000 contracts so far. The micros have done 44,000. And just to put that in comparison, gold did 295,000 and micro gold did 636,000. So a lot of activity in gold. You see that often when you have down days, you get bigger volume, and we're seeing that today for sure. So that is this afternoon's Edge Report. We are ready to trade the close with Nick for a tick and Jack Gleason from somewhere in the West Loop, Chicago, Illinois. Hey guys.
How you doing? We got some snow here today.
You did?
And it was 50 degrees and raining yesterday. So a little bit of bipolar, kind of like the silver markets. But yeah, I'm walking into this afternoon session, long MNQ, long ES. Target's just a little bit above where we're currently trading. I got 25,751 MNQ target and a 65.59 ES target. So that's what I'm hanging on to. Nick, are you in any position?
Yeah, I'm still in a runner from this morning's short. That looks like it might get tagged. I moved my stop like in front of break even on the last one. I did finally get, if you were watching, I guess, trade or midday markets with Leo and I did get that final flush and push below the overnight low and make a new low of the day. So got two off there and kind of just holding this runner for, I guess, Armageddon at this point. I didn't think we were going to round trip all the way back up, but here we are.
Nick, you could share your screen too. Jack, we were talking earlier, and I said, well, this VWAP is in the E-mini S&P for the session is going to be hard to break through. And before I know it, by the time Shai was done talking, we broke through to the upside. So we're driving toward your 59.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, that was definitely holding in the earlier parts, but after we failed to really get that continuation, after we made that 12 o'clock low, we set up, and when I saw this most recent pullback around 210s was the mid of that leg. So the leg from the low of the day to that most recent high. And when we pause, especially in both markets, both ES and NQ, and then get a continuation, I start feeling a little more comfortable in the direction of my trade long when anytime we hold a midpoint of a leg after a failure to move lower. And we'll see how much higher we go. But we rallied all the way up into highs last week on Friday, and this is really the first day of a pullback. A lot of it was in the overnight session, and then we have some early morning volatility. I think we finally have stuck at least the low of the day. I don't know if we're going to make a new low while me or Nick are talking today, but possibly tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure Nick is rooting for a new low in the Nasdaq right now. I like it.
I'm not optimistic, to be honest. I only kept this runner for the show.
Well, this is good though. But you got your stop your stop is in the green.
Yep.
You have a couple of volume clusters there that make for good targets. There's a lot of gravity there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we're now just kind of testing the upper side of today's range, more or less, and still stuck, just in this like 730s to 680s, basically 50-point spot that we've been in basically all day. So yeah, I don't know if it's going to reoffer for like the 8th time. This is once again the same spot. I could see it happening.
The good news is one of us will be right.
I mean, they could just keep us range bound, Jack, and we both could just be kind of stuck, not really gaining any money and just having to take profit.
All right. Well, I'm going to root for both of you guys anyway. Appreciate everybody that's joining us live for NinjaTrader Live this afternoon. Thank you for being part of our community. This is the best trading community I've been involved in my whole entire life, and I've been involved in a lot of them, as you can tell by the white beard. But so thank you for being here. We really appreciate for you guys to hit the subscribe button on the channel. It's important to us, means a lot to us. It increases our visibility. High tides lift all boats. The more the merrier into the chat. You guys have all been professional in the chat. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. We joke around, but we also try to help each other, and you guys are part of that. If you're not in the chat and listening, that's okay. We appreciate you being here as well, more than you know. So thank you for being part of this great community. We got all sorts of fantastic plans next year. We're going to be here all week except for Thursday. Thursday is New Year's Day. So we are not going to slow down. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate that. Having said all that, I'm going to wish these two young gentlemen the best of luck on their trades. Good luck, Jack. Good luck, Nick.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks, Jim. Well, cue the, or I guess cue up the Price is Right loss sound effect if my runner is about to get tagged here.
So let me see. I'm pulling up the YouTube stream. Sometimes it's a little harder for me to see on the Zoom. So you're short from 25,750 area.
Yeah.
What time did you take that short? Was that on the first pop up this morning at 9:40, or was that on the 10:30 pop? Or before market?
Yeah, no, that was the one, I guess. Yeah, 9:30 Central-ish. I was coming on for midday markets at 10 Central. So I was in the green room and was kind of managing the initial part of this trade. And we got the flush like right after that, but then we were stuck for the next hour pretty much and hadn't really done anything since. That's how I made that new low. So
Yeah.
I'm happy. I got my points. This was originally a 5 lot that I've kind of been managing the whole way down and back up. So
Good, cool.
all good.
Yeah, that was if you got short at that, I mean that 9:30, that volatility off the open. I was long going into that, and I definitely could have taken more off on that. And then I rebought this 25,673 was a level that I was looking for in my morning trade plan. And we've just, if you draw that on your chart, that's really just prior to the market, kind of held that zone, came back to it. Then we had that flush where you were saying you took profits, and then I just kept poking at that level as long as it was working.
Oh yeah.
It seems to be one of those days you don't want to get caught anywhere in the middle, whether it's longing or shorting. You definitely got to be the outer edges of the range. There hasn't been much, I would call much continuation, in a sense that we're like completing aggressively into new highs and new lows. It's just more extremes of the ends of the range here. But yeah, I mean, you could see as soon as we got that new low that you said you covered on, instantly bid back up.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had an ATR expansion on that low. I know in the ES we did expanding range on that low, and usually when we expand range on a low and then immediately don't get a follow through, that's secure there.
Yeah, it really feels like all of the fun was had in the early parts of the session, and then everything just died, including the metals too. Like gold continued to kind of sell off the first, I guess, like after the RTH open in equities, and then we've just been stuck.
Yeah,
basically since like 9 Central, pretty much trading that same 43.50s area, which is now the point of control in the session. So nobody wanted to have fun today off the open. The overnight got all the fireworks.
Yeah, the overnight did. I was expecting, sometimes I debate Sunday night. I know there's great moves, but I'm either busy with something, still catching up on the weekend.
Yep.
But with that Sunday night, the gold and silver being really the markets to trade, sometimes they're so extremely volatile that I don't even feel comfortable participating on them. I mean, silver, of course, you can trade the micros, but if you were trading a mini top to bottom, that was over $50,000, which is one of the biggest moves I've ever seen in for value wise in a futures contract.
And there goes my stop for my runner. So Godspeed to anybody that tries to now short off that stop.
Target filled.
And your stop is my target.
Yeah, that was I mean that's pretty normal. But yeah, happy with the trade. I was in that, like I said, since about 9:30, 9:40. So solid trade.
Yeah.
But yeah,
great.
I mean, to go back to what you were saying about like Sunday night and last night and everything, it's still I'm going to be back full throttle next week. And that's how I've continued to kind of justify everything to myself.
I
There's
want
no
to see
need.
you full throttle. Every
I
time
mean,
every time we've traded together, you're off the throttle. What's Nick look like on the throttle?
not much different because I think I'm a pretty patient trader, but I will be a little more involved. You may see me talk about random options trades and other things I'm doing throughout a given session. But for the most part, yeah, as far as equities, I'm still going to find what I find, but I'm really only trading if I'm coming into the show or like I'm only at my desk if I have one of the shows to do. That's how it's been for basically all of December. And that'll change next week because I will be spending obviously more time at the desk.
Yeah, I'm excited for the full week to begin. It does really throw me off with the holidays in the middle of the week. I mean, I enjoy them, but you're like, oh, is the market going to be slow? Which it really hasn't been slow. I never think I mean, there might be like maybe lower volume than average, but the moves are still, I mean, you can find a market that's moving. There's always a market moving somewhere, right?
Yep.
I mean, whether
Absolutely.
it's silver or gold or, even Bitcoin's been, at least a good range. Not like we've had too many expansionary moves, but I mean, you're talking about oil actually had a really good move here today. I think oil finally has put in some daily bullish structure. If you look at the channel on the daily, I'll see if I can pull it up. I might have to take my studies off but oil's been in this daily range or this daily channel. We were bottom of the channel, top of the channel. Let me get a little drawing tool out here. And see what this channel looks like. So this would be top of the channel, and then we kind of got your bottom of the channel. We've just been back and forth between this, but this last move down here held the midpoint of this leg, and that's the first time we've done that, and it's been a pretty quick reaction. We actually opened exactly on or right on that. The low of the day is the midpoint of this leg. So if I come in here and draw a fib, where you at? There you are. So if I draw the lows of this entire move to that high, this Sunday night, we'll go down to a smaller time frame here. That 50% is right here, right around 56.86, if I have it drawn correctly. But we opened from that, and we've just been bidding all day for the first time. And like I said, because we're inside of that daily channel, the fact that we're holding the midpoint for the first time, if you look at this entire channel, which has been going on since late October, that I think we may get a topside break out of this. So I'm going to be focused tomorrow on oil longs. I like to set up a lot of my trades for the next day based on like where I think the market's kind of setting up as, like trading, like are we bullish in oil or are we bullish in the indexes, and kind of have some of those ideas to follow through on the next day. So that's what I'm looking at tomorrow. And I'll get back to you on that one. Are you on tomorrow, Nick?
Nope. I will just be on Wednesday afternoon, and then I'll be back next week.
Cool.
So nothing for me tomorrow. I will not be trading. Gonna do a few things, but there was a good question in the chat after kind of what I said. So do you not enjoy trading? I trade mostly because I love trading. The money is nice though. So, I mean, anybody that knows me and I guess my story and things, like I've been full-time trading as my only income source for the last, I mean, I guess, gosh, in January, it'll kind of be for 3 years if you include like only living off a severance for a couple months. But this past year has been the most difficult for me mentally. And that really comes down to, I mean, the simplest example is I just had a kid, and it's been a lot of adjustments for me as far as the time away from screens of just my energy gets put 100%, where in the past, maybe it would just be completely like decompressing as soon as I'm off charts. Now my energy has to come right back and, be focused on my 1-year-old. So that has taken a lot of time for me to adjust to, as well as just it's an energy drain at the end of the day. And I think mentally I am a little more tired this past year full-time trading than I am in the past. I think part of it is like I'm doing this independently. There's not really a schedule. There's no routine. I'm kind of figuring things out. And this year has been a very good year for me just to just to learn how to do that. And I look forward to kind of continuing that journey into the new year here. But that's kind of why I was saying what I was saying. It's just been that life event type adjustment with full-time trading as your income source as the biggest difference for me. And still constantly going back in my head, like, during the drawdown periods of things is where it's like, is this really what I want to do as I'm starting a family? Like, is this the pressure I want to put on myself to constantly produce and be right all the time? And you go back and forth. When I had a very lucrative and good job and good career, and those thoughts creep in the back of your mind, like, is this the right choice? Should I go back there? I can always trade. Like, so it's been a lot of like learning and education and evolving for me, I think, in this next chapter of my personal life. So that's kind of why I was saying what I was saying.
Order Phil.
I think that's pretty fair. I also had a kid last year, and I felt some of the same, just the pressure of going from being able to chill at the end of the day to immediately going back to work.
Yep.
in a different way.
I learned this the hard way. For example, like I have to work out at 5 a.m. Like that's the only way I feel like I get it done, and I don't feel like it lingers in the back of my mind. And I know I'm in a good, like I've gotten kind of that energy release, that like dopamine hit to start my day off, because the days are chaotic with a 1-year-old. When you're here and you can be involved and you're engaged, like it's just tough. So I've had to make just adjustments like that, where I'm just going to go sit in the cold and exercise first thing in the morning, because I may not get another opportunity the rest of the day. So ever evolving.
All right. As far as, a couple of people asked some questions about the trades, and I just got out of my ES trade. Target said 59, but if I were, my trade idea came from like my morning trade plan, which was a support level based on the higher time frame. Let's see if I go to, oh no, it's not a 60-second chart. I'm gonna go to I never trade a 60-second chart. I am not that ADD. Where are we? Hourly. Minute. Second range. Anyway, I was looking at this 69.40 to potentially be support, and for some reason I cannot pull all of the data here, but basically I was looking at 69.40, and we came down to that, and the way we flushed to it was great. I waited for us to actually turn back up after where Nick was probably getting out at 12.25. I started getting in at 12.40 on this move back up, as we started to invert that fair value gap after trading the support I had anticipated. And then just starting seeing that confirmation. And then really when we came back for this test here at 2 o'clock, or came back down, that was where I'm like, this trade's either going to work or it's not. And what we held, that I mentioned to Jim when we got off the, when he got off the mic, was we held that's mid of that leg, came right to that 50% retracement, and we have bounced here. So this is where I was either going to cut my trade for a small winner or hold it, anticipating a reversion back to the highs of the range. And now that we've done that, I'm flat here. If we can get another pullback, I'll probably take a long. Otherwise, I think we might be going back up to where Nick got short earlier today. Or he can, if you want to go over what your thoughts were this morning around 9:30 when you got short, Nick, for the viewers that asked.
Always great. I mean, if anyone knows like my style of trading, I can't exactly show you because obviously the leg to leg has flipped. But at the end of the day, I saw kind of buyers running out of steam up here in this little LVN that ended up kind of being this that's like 780 spot. So selling basically kind of died, stopped there. And I didn't get in on this first little push down. This little retest back up here towards the 760s, I started kind of building into, and I almost cut it, to be honest, because it looked like we were going to kind of continue to build above that. But for the most part, this 800s area has been support for a while. It's been resistance. So it's just a longer time frame area that I'm looking for aspects of a reaction towards. And we got that this morning. We kind of came up to that 820s, 815s, and rejected right off of it. So I think I talked about this too. Like I'm very much you guys don't see it because I enter, I think, execution wise based on what I'm seeing like on the DOM or on time and sales. But most of those areas that I'm like hyper focused on reading it in real time are areas of MGI that I have marked or I'm just paying attention to for a variety of reasons. Otherwise, you get lost in the sauce in situations like this where you're engaged like back in the middle of the opening range and you're kind of seeing noise. As an order flow trader, that's when you can die a very slow, choppy death, getting involved at the wrong spots because you think you're seeing things. I tend to play things a little bit more at extremes and I miss trades because of that, but it works.
I think missing trades because of rule sets is a good thing. If you don't have any rules that help you miss trades, it means you're taking anything.
And we've said this several times. If you're looking for a trade, you can find one real quick. So sometimes if you're patient and just waiting for it to kind of approach spots that you are paying attention to, or you would like price to potentially return to, and if it doesn't get there, that's fine. You wait till the next one. I'm just thankful we actually did make a new low of the day because that low in NQ would have driven me absolutely bonkers.
Yep. I'm going to play some more limits. I don't know if we're going to get them, but just going to go to the next mid of that leg. 25,728s and 6952s in the ES.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
And that's just the midpoints of these most recent legs up. We'll see if we can get back there. And then other markets that are interesting to me.
No, everything kind of died. I mean, it looks like we're getting a reoffer at that same spot again that I was short from earlier, but
They see you coming. They're scared.
did you flatten everything?
Yeah, I got out on those highs.
Hey, nice cover.
Thank you. And so we'll see. We got an hour left. An hour left. And this is like the first, I mean, the last 2 years, what we were up more than 20%, even 30% some of the years. And this is what, I don't know what we're up right now totally in the year. It's like 9% or somewhere around there. I haven't checked in a few weeks, but I don't think we're going to see as much profit taking going into the beginning of the year because of that.
No, not when we're basically up like 50% from the tariff lows.
Yeah, well, we're up a lot from the low.
Which is just crazy when you think about that.
Yeah, that was
and
huge.
we literally went 50% up without like even I think a 3% pullback in NQ. Like we just straight to the upside, 50% basically straight up. Insane. Why I have the ability to buy those kind of dips aggressively in my long-term portfolio, but not in like a swing account, I will never know. Like, I'll do it in my Roth, but for some reason I won't throw on a few micros in MES and just hope for the best, with a pretty wide stop. I don't know why I don't do that. I don't know why I just don't possess that ability.
Well, we don't have that many number of occurrences to practice those opportunities. So I think you let them fade. And then when they're happening, even though they should be there, you let them slip your mind because you would never have had that number of occurrences to practice that specific trading setup. And it's almost like tell yourself that now, but heck, if we get 50% pullback in 2026, I'm going to throw on a few micros.
Yeah, exactly.
I
think it really comes down to like, I think looking at a time horizon of like, okay, a year from now, I think we're going to be above 5,000 on the S&Ps. Like that's how I justify throwing a lot of money around that spot like I did. But yeah, I think it's just something with like, okay, I have a quarter by quarter time horizon on some of these contracts and things. And I don't know. Yeah, it's like I think you're right. Where it's muscle memory. Where it's on that type of trade, I don't know exactly when I'm trying to not call bottom, but try to potentially position for that type of swing long like that. How do I build into it? How wide of a stop do I need to play? Like building into that type of position is something I've just never, like you said, had a lot of at bats, I think, towards.
Yeah, I think that's like the easiest thing that I'm going to work on in 2026 if I shift to more markets and not just the indexes, I'm going to see more opportunity to really swing some trades with great setups. So I've got a list of 20 futures contracts. I'm looking forward to expanding my horizon and trading a little more of a larger basket than just I mean I've always traded gold and oil, but I'm moving into trading Bitcoin. I traded bonds for the first time in a few years last week. I
You're
mean
going to trade the hogs, aren't you?
I don't have hogs on my watch list. Maybe I should throw them on. The hogs. Yeah, I
Good
don't have
old.
any like agricultural
I
um like
I've only traded it to be funny, and it's in a sim prop accounts. I've never actually traded it with live money. I don't think I would, but in a prop account, sure, why not?
yeah, I don't know what the liquidity looks like in those markets. The indicators I'm using are something that I've built, and it's basically an oscillator. The bottom is an oscillator in combination of five things, which include VWAP, parabolic SAR, which are standard to most platforms. And then I have something I refer to as a leg start, which are the white dots you see on my screen, which is the beginning of a 3-bar move. And then the swing marks, which are on the low side, purple dots, on the high side, orange dots. They're just swing highs and swing lows that need to be followed. But it's a 5-bar swing high and a 5-bar swing low. And then the other thing I have is that yellow bar, which is an ATR expansion of 50% or more than the average 10 bars. And then the oscillator measures whether or not each one of those individual indicators is positive or negative. And then so like right now, the ES is +5. So that means we're above the VWAP, above the parabolic SAR. The last trend bar, we're up above it. The last swing mark is below us, and the last leg start is below us. It just indicates that all of those indicators are, of course, in bullish print. But I don't necessarily use them for a buy signal. I don't like see a print on my indicator and hit market order. I just use it to try to gauge momentum. So like right now, if I was shorting this entire move up and then I saw what were like +5 and I'd taken 2 stops, I'd probably stop and think to myself, am I on the right side of the market? And that indicator is a kind of that reminder to tell me, no, I'm not, outside of just being wrong on price and taking a loss. Hi, Market Mommy. All of you guys are so good. Yeah. Well, that's why NinjaTrader found us, right? Because we're here to help you guys. And I mean, I learn from other people I'm on with, and got to be a student of the game.
What DOM do I use? I mean, we've talked about the DOM that I use, I feel like several times. I can't show it to you, but the good news is we are still working on one for NinjaTrader that will be hopefully available soon. That will be a customizable, or it'll work the way I think you've seen a lot of us, I think if you've watched some of XY's videos, like you've seen his DOM, and you'll get the gist of how we kind of use it. So that's hopefully coming. I know. I'll believe it when I see it. I promise we are actually working on it.
The blue triangle for my indicator is when this oscillator pushes up or down to 5. So at the top, it reads 5. So you'll see there's a blue triangle here on my ES chart when this printed 5. Same thing with the NQ, that blue triangle printed 5. So that the blue triangle is just, I call that a trend bar. All right, homies, get us some likes. I don't know if my YouTube's not reloaded, but I only saw 19 earlier, but that might have been just when we started. Oh, it's 78. It's 78.
Yeah, it should be higher. But yeah, while you're at it, make sure
Yeah.
you hit like, everybody that's here. We appreciate you hanging out on this once again wonderful holiday week. Happy New Year. We're gonna be saying that all week. What am I doing? I was trying to do something.
This feels like it's going to be a really long hour.
I know. It really feels like we are just gonna maybe rotate back down into the 740s, 730s, and continue to drive me insane and die there. Okay, let me get this fixed.
Kind of hanging out up here. I'd love to get a pullback in the ES one more time. Let's see. Scanning some markets. All the metals are crushed today. Silver down 6.5, gold 4.5, or no, 4.2, but copper down big too. And oil is the best performing market that I watch out of like a list of 20 futures. So, like I said, tomorrow oil is going to be on my hit list for longs. But I don't know about today.
Italian guy, yes, the Discord is a good place to learn how you can read the DOM and use the order flow the way we kind of do, as well as, I mean, XY's and Leo's playbooks are pretty awesome, and they have spent a lot of time developing theirs. I got to still continue to work on mine, but you can check out those two as a way to just have another way to digest the information, pictures, all the other fun stuff, if you don't want to hang out in the Discord as well. Oh, can we move? Can we do something?
Where do you want us to go?
Anywhere.
Anywhere?
Just not continue to stay in a 40-point range.
You got a wish list?
I mean, I have words. I just want like a silver and gold type move in equities one of these days. Like, it doesn't have to be to the downside, but can we get like a 4% range in a day? Top to bottom?
4%.
I'll be happy with that.
It's been a while since we've had one of those.
Not since March, April.
I was gonna say, what was there was that one Trump tweet in October. Was that, how big of a move was that? I'll have to go back.
That I think top to bottom was probably 4%, because I think we were up like 1%, and I think we closed down like 2.5 or something.
Yeah, 4.8%.
Yeah.
Top to bottom on October 10th.
Also, going to happen, Nick.
I mean, you had 11.20. I believe that was
nasty too. I was on.
Was really nasty.
Yeah, XY, that day pissed me off because XY and I were on and we were doing absolutely nothing, and we gave the scenario where if we were to lose, like, whatever, I think it was basically like the OR low, it got a little slippery for the last couple of days of like volume, and we were talking about like you could get a decent move down, and then we get off and I shut my computer down and it just liquidated. And then I just was too stubborn and mad to even try to go back to the desk and make any money. I'm just like, no, I'm not chasing this.
Man. The more you're on the show, the more you trade.
I'm trying to get a good balance. I don't know. Been streaming publicly on YouTube for like 2 years, and I still always try to limit the amount of screen time I'm giving myself. I just tend to overtrade if I'm here all day. Like I'm looking for trades for too long.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, if you know yourself, you know yourself. It's really hard to maintain concentration and patience at the same time, and that's really what, especially if you're watching order flow,
Yeah.
that requires. Like a lot of times, some of the like what I do in my own trading strategy, like I'm able to just kind of predetermine supports and levels of resistance that I want to trade, and I'll set alerts. I get text messages to my phone when those alerts goes off and those levels hit, and I'll have my desk and my screen up, but I'm not sitting there watching it. I'm just kind of like, hey, we need to trade down 20 points. Or like, if I wasn't here on this stream right now, I'd probably have an alert above at 69.70 and another one down below at 69.50, and I say, call me when we do. Call me when we do.
Yeah, I may take you up on that and start doing that for like if I like after the open, after let's call it the first hour, maybe hour and a half of trading, set some alerts for the session. Otherwise, I don't really get back to my desk.
Yeah.
That's probably how I'd like to evolve some of my trading. But yeah, I mean, I want to go outside, do other things.
It's nice. You have the privilege of going outside and doing other things.
It was 80 degrees here on Christmas Day. And
80?
sunny. 80 and sunny.
Did Santa even come?
I mean, it's so weird. North Texas is like insane because like 2 years ago it snowed on Christmas. It just depends.
Oh my gosh.
And then out of nowhere, like this morning, it was like 28 degrees when I was working out in the garage.
That's amazing.
No, Santa did not come.
A garage spot where I live, just one for a single car goes for $70,000. So it's kind of hard to have a place for gym equipment.
That's insane. Yeah, that's not worth it. Go. Yeah, go to a gym. I would never in a million years.
I wish
dream
I
of
could have a
that in
gym
the
in a
city.
garage, but I don't know if it makes economic sense.
It's probably cheaper just to lease a space for a year and just throw it in there like a business address.
That might be true. That might be true. No, I mean, I walk to the gym, but I know. I mean, yeah, having a kid, I don't get there every day. I mean, like you said, I tell you what, I don't got the cojones to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. So good on you.
It's one of those like I've had to continue to figure it out, and I've just you know yourself, and I am pretty mentally dead at this point after I put my daughter down, usually every night at 7. So I know for a fact I could not. It would take a lot of effort for me mentally to go to the gym at that time. And at that point, like I would like to hang out with my partner, relax a little bit versus continuing to try to stretch whatever mental capital I have left at that point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I obviously a full-time trader. Maybe I should do that in the afternoon. I think it's just been a weird year where I've had other commitments, I've had other things going on, projects, things I'm doing, and just the midday gym session has died in my new lifestyle, I guess.
This midday gym session is definitely for summer for me. When markets are a little lower vol and I need to get away from my desk.
In the summer, I think that's exactly the time because it's nice outside. Like I can pull my equipment basically into my driveway out of the garage and just enjoy sweating in the Texas heat. I think that's a better time to do it in the middle of the day. And summer trading just blows. So yeah. You're in McKinney? I'm further south. I'm down closer to the main part of the city, SMU, Highland Park, all that stuff down here.
Is there just a Highland Park in every state?
Probably.
It's like one of those like Springfield type names. Like I know there's one over here.
They're not going to do anything, are they?
Gonna find out.
Okay. I thought my screen was frozen there for a second. Like nothing in the DOM was moving. Like nobody was lifting the bidder.
I thought that
bidder
earlier. I
the
was like, did
offer.
I lose my connection? Like,
Well,
where is
on NQ, it's like because there's always like a 2-tick spread, like give or take, just with how latency kind of works, even when your screen's loading it. So it's like, it kind of always looks like that. And like nothing was moving for 5 seconds. I don't think anybody hit the bid or the offer. That was weird. No, I don't live in Highland Park. I could never afford that type of home. Also, I don't need 8,000 square feet like some of those houses are. That's insane. I even as if I ever had like that kind of money, the odds of me wanting that big of a place is insane.
Oh, you can definitely have that kind of money.
I just don't want, I would never want a 10,000 square foot house. I don't want to have to hire a staff to take care of my home.
I feel you. I do think that's a boomer thing.
There's just there, I get enough dust collects in my house as it is. And my house is like, under 3,000 square feet. Yeah, I'd rather have 5 2,000 square foot homes too in different cities.
Oh.
Yep.
Where's that noise coming from?
Someone needs to unplug the markets and plug them back in, please. Because we are doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, silver is still moving.
Should we flip around some markets?
Probably. You may have to do it because I'll break my charts jumping between markets.
I know. Sometimes I break mine too.
There's too much volume data. What is silver doing?
Silver is moving. I need to get used to whatever the SIL contract. I'm definitely not trading the SI contract. SIL silver. Let me do some research.
It was funny though. Last night, seeing silver pop up into the 80s on the gap up, it took a lot of mental justification for me to not press the red button, just purely out of like, are you kidding me? I'm thankful I didn't do it because God knows I could have easily been just ran over. But that was pretty crazy. I think like you said, I think it was the move top to bottom was like 30,000 to 50,000 a contract, basically.
Yep.
That's insane.
Yeah, one lot, 50K. More than that, actually.
Which I don't know if I would even have thrown more than one lot if I was trading the minis.
Yeah, no way.
That's the way it was moving. I would have been terrified to be up and down $5,000 probably in seconds. I was in a couple.
Yeah, there was a couple of 5-minute bars with $2 ranges, which is $10,000.
Yeah.
On one contract.
No, thank you.
That's when, like traders that always just switch, like they're trading events and stuff. And so that type of move will draw in traders who have never traded silver, big boys that'll just come in and play the game.
Yep. Somebody, please do something to these markets.
You guys ain't going nowhere.
Jim, I think that works for the markets.
I can't tell if that's Jim or if it's like one of those voice notes that they're just playing.
Oh, it's a sound effect.
Okay, so Jim's not speaking with us. It's just
but that's
his avatar. His avatar is here.
They had to create that one so that Jim could, even if he was taking a nap, enjoying his afternoon or on vacation, still shame us for not having enough likes, that we weren't allowed to leave the show if we didn't get pump our numbers up. So he's now permanently fixed to the stream. Yes, AI Jim. I can only imagine if we were to feed some of these shows and sound effects into some model. I mean, they don't even need us anymore. It could just spit out what we were going to say for the stream.
So I believe SIL is what, 1/5 the size of SI. I'm sure the chat knows. Thank you. $5 American. It's my favorite kind of dollar is American. I do keep silver on the desk though. Although my daughter hid some of it, she takes it. I'm like, hey, that's worth a lot of money now. Where'd you put that? Got my silver quarter 2020 special that I bought on the low in 2020. $15 an ounce, ladies and gentlemen. That's when I purchased that. Somewhere around there. Only physical trade I've ever taken.
Oh, what are we doing?
I think we're going to push up a little higher and then maybe lower. Or maybe, let's see, at 20, 35 minutes off. My back hurts. I feel like an old man. I'm going to move my order in ES to 53.5.
Oh, you have limits to try to get long again.
Yep.
I
Limits
was
at the
confused.
midpoint of the leg. I mean, we're probably not going to have enough time left in the day worth the risk to take it if, if it's in the last 15 minutes. It's just like whatever.
I mean, we got 30 minutes still, and we're doing absolutely nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying the short here, but there's just nothing happening. Like back towards that midpoint, like you're saying, where your entry kind of is in the 50s.
Yeah. If we get down to where I want us to be, I feel comfortable, but I don't want to force a trade until then. Holiday weekend close, you know how it is. Yeah, what was up with that? I just saw that like all over Twitter. There was that guy selling iron condors, Martin, or what was he? He was he martingaling or
Oh God, I don't know.
do you hear about this? He blew up like
No.
$50 million. He was selling iron Captain Condor. What a great name. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, I am not giving my money to anybody named Captain Condor. But yeah, he was basically selling iron condors, I guess, in the SPY. And if he was wrong, he would just double down. And he was wrong 5 times in a row. And he lost $50 million. I guess. I don't know if it was him and everybody else's money that he was like somehow managing, or like he had a group of, basically made the market. You can't just sell iron condors day after day after day and double down in size and expect that you're never going to get 5 tails in a row.
I mean, yeah,
You're eventually going to lose if you double down every time. You can make money
probably.
for a while, but you're going to lose. It's just math. Yeah, blowing on
Whoa.
candles works.
That was weird.
Let's see here. Mess with my chart. See, I break my chart when I go to a higher time frame. Ugh,
Yeah,
come on.
I just hate trying to load other things on stream because it creates chaos, because obviously that we're doing a live production, and sometimes when charts have to spin and load, it just is annoying.
Yeah, I have to remove all my studies because they just, the way the studies work is when I go out to higher time frames, it just condenses everything.
Yeah, it's pretty much how mine works too. Just all my volume and order data, it just kind of takes a little bit to load it.
I'm going to remember that. And I'm just going to keep a secondary screen up in case I want to look at something without indicators to show people some stuff. I'm going to do that next time I get on.
Are we going to get that pushed down? Oh, my other chart was stuck on gold. Oops.
You ever use range charts?
I mean, I'm just going to say it. Both hours that I've been on stream today have equated to extremely small NASDAQ ranges. So you're welcome, chat. Doing my job. Killing all of the volatility. Thanks, Larry. We always appreciate everybody here hanging out with us. Who is stronger currently? I'm trading blind. I don't know what market you're talking about, but nobody seems strong. Seems like a decent breeze could push this market back to the other side of the range. I don't feel like there's really anybody trying to do anything on this tape this afternoon.
The ES is down a lower percentage point than the NQ. So on a percentage basis, it's ES, YM, NQ. Russell is the weakest, down 0.5%. NASDAQ down 0.41, 0.35 for the YM, and 0.27 for the ES. So technically, on a percentage change basis, the ES is the strongest on the day. But I wanted just weak enough to get back into my level.
Any forecasts for the coming days? It's hard to know because you're going to have probably some books closing some things out, changing some things around on tomorrow and Wednesday. And then obviously we start a new year on Friday, as well as even probably what Real Desk are going to do probably into next week. So the next couple of days, it's hard to really look too much into, at least in my perspective. Like, we may get some fireworks, that's for sure, but it's hard to, I guess, put too much into it outside of I'm very curious to see where we open on Friday and how long we stay above it or below it.
I would say forecast for me, if this low of Monday holds, like we don't take it out the rest of the week, I can see us up above 26,000 area in the NASDAQ. But it just depends on this Monday sell off. You know, we found that support in this morning. We've kind of held it all day in both of these indexes. If they don't make another attempt to take out that low and you don't see much of a flush through this low, I bet we drift up for the rest of the week. Maybe something, you know, like I said, book changing on the first full trading day in the year, tax related selling or whatever. Some people like to wait so they don't got to pay them taxes. Why sell? Thing is, why sell? Who's going to be closing if you're going to close a position, you're not doing it a big position. You're not doing it today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, you're not doing it into the 31st. You're waiting to the next year because then you got to pay the taxes on it for this year as opposed to waiting a full year.
And at least in NQ, we're trading really at the bottom edge of this balance that we kind of were in for most of December. So we really haven't moved a whole lot the last couple of weeks. I think that's why Jack and I were saying like anything is better than us continuing to be whatever in this few 100-point range that we've been stuck in for weeks. So I welcome any sort of move. Back up to 26K would be just fine with me. We can test the upper limits of this balance as well.
These go to 11.
But yeah, I will complaint for today's price action.
Might get my levels. I'd like a jam down like with like 15 minutes to go.
Anybody do anything fun for New Year's outside of hanging with us for Trade the Close on New Year's Eve to round out your trading year?
Dinner. Just a nice steak dinner.
I don't think I've even made it to midnight the last couple of years.
Oh. Yeah, I didn't 2 years ago, but last year I did.
Just I'm just not as fun as I once was.
Just
Last year
guy.
I have the excuse because we had the baby and I did not care what day it was, nor did I even really know what day it was.
Just lost in the sauce of life.
Yeah. Eating Chinese food, staying home with the wife and kids. That's the dream right there. I almost did that on Christmas Eve, was just order Chinese because I was feeling lazy because I spent the whole day making sauce and meatballs for the following day, and prepping things to make fresh pasta and all the other stuff. So I was like, I'm just gonna order Chinese, and then my wife convinced me to not do that for everybody that was coming to hang out with us. But I want to float that into the tradition because some days if I'm cooking all day for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, like I just don't want to cook all day, every day.
Oh man, your birthday's NYE. It can be fun. At least people are out celebrating. I'd say it's probably better than a Christmas birthday.
Yeah, Christmas birthday would be tough. That just doesn't sound fun. I do have a friend that's his birthday is today, but still a few days after Christmas.
There's that dribble down. We're leaking.
Somebody please just push it off the cliff. Give us something.
Got some inverted fair value gaps on these highs. So like this is one of the things I'd look for. You know, if I saw a resistance level here in the NQ, kind of up really where Nick was talking about retesting that. What was it? High there was we came right back into the high of 1035 fair value gap, inverted fair value gap, and then hold the midpoint from that high, leak lower. I just wasn't looking to trade a short bias up there because I don't think there's a ton of room to the downside. I mean, there's 30 points of room, but good little reversal opportunity there if anybody's looking for it. Gold just got a nice little spill of 10 points in the last 5 minutes.
Just nobody wants to have fun. I mean, do I need to just press a button to feel something?
This is why you have to walk away from your desk. It's this type of behavior that you have to eliminate in 2026, Nick.
I mean,
You don't need to feel
this is
anything.
why I'm going to listen to you. Just use alerts. If I am not doing a trade the close and we are post euro close, if I'm at my desk, I have a problem.
I just
I'm
can't
most
sit that
likely
long.
chasing a
hurts.
drawdown or something.
Sitting all day is so bad for you.
Yeah. I think I just need to I don't know, schedule my errands from 11 to 2 kind of thing.
Yeah. You know what else I did? I got a massage place around the street. It's like subscription massage. So I just I have to do them because I already paid for them. And then when it's because nobody else really goes and gets a massage in the middle of the day, but a trader or somebody who doesn't have a job.
Right.
So I'm it is less expensive for me to go get $100 massage than it is for me to trade the market. So
you know what? You're not wrong in the grand scheme of things, and that's where I just lose context of things. Me spending $100 to $200 on something that I would actually enjoy, something that's good for my mental. I for some reason just I'm too cheap or I won't do it all the time. But I'll happily take another stop out for $500 sitting at my desk during that same time period and not think twice about it. That's something wrong with me. Let's be honest. There's something wrong with us as traders.
Yeah. You have to conceptualize. The money does, but does change.
The lines blur. It really does. I guess that anything under $1,000, it's that weird thing. But then I'll have a trade that makes $1,000 and not think anything about it. But I won't, in theory, spend $1,000 for no reason. But I'll take a $3,000 to $5,000 DLL type day. I don't know. It's so backwards. Yes, we all like pain. We are masochists. Yeah, whenever my desk does die, I may actually, I mean, this is a standing desk, but it doesn't work as a standing desk anymore, given the fact that I've created a cave that I have to trade from. But I kind of would like a standing desk with and get one of those treadmill things just for my own sanity some days.
I tried it.
No?
It was difficult. The walking at your desk, you might as well just have one like next to your desk, but like at your desk.
Yeah,
Then we
I
just get
guess
in the
you're right.
way.
Because in theory, I could still be managing a trade on mobile and go for a walk if I really wanted to do the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Which, if I'm going to start doing that, I'm probably not I'm not looking for a trade. I am managing one or not trading.
I don't know. We are coming in. Coming in.
Chat, I apologize that nothing has happened this whole time.
But what you can do is like the stream. We're at, what are we at now? 150.
150. Yeah. Let Jack go full influencer. I did my job earlier today. Don't make me go full influencer.
We got some limits here. If you guys like, if you get the stream gets above 200, I think these trades will trade. And if it doesn't, I don't know if I'm going to get a fill. So, yeah, I have a stand-up desk, but let's see. I never really use it when I'll try it. I'm always afraid to mess up my camera.
Yeah.
But I need to stand right now.
I think I'm going to slightly tweak my setup. Adjust things. I don't know. I've been sitting in this for a while and I just might make it more usable for things outside of trading or when I'm not like trying to stare at charts. I just want to make adjustments. I don't know. I'm a creature of constant change. Give me a fill. I don't know if anyone's going to get a fill.
Oh, I didn't get to catch the 2025 recap.
I'm sure we're going to play it all week. I didn't see it. I don't know if it's been uploaded yet to the channel or if it will be.
I don't know if I'm featured in it. I'm a newbie. I've only been here for a month. A hot minute. All right.
if you missed it, I'll watch it when we get off today. If you missed it though, it is live on the channel.
All right.
For the recap video. And we have been told Jack is in fact in it if you have not caught it yet.
Connection lost.
I mean, I'm sure it's not in it because we're not going to do that, but I would love I wonder if they compiled all of Pax's Ferragamo Friday F-bombs. That would have just been glorious.
Ferragamo Friday.
Can't wait to watch this. I'm looking forward to actually, when we get off, to check it out. Several of them. Good to know.
Yeah, I know the sound check earlier today had some good clips from it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of wonderful moments this year. It's crazy that I mean, we've been doing this for 9 months and just getting started.
All right, we got the 168 likes. Not enough to get my bid lower. We came 8 points or so away, it looks like. From my bid, 7 or 8 points. From my NQ bid, about 3 in the ES. Yeah, see, now that I've raised my desk, I feel like my mic is now in the way. Let's see, raise it a little more if that makes a difference.
So many subscribers and not as many watch live, I noticed. Any reason? I don't know. Tell your friends.
Yeah,
We're
I think,
doing this every day.
yeah, I don't think everybody that watches NinjaTrader Live probably trades every single day, but they probably all tune in at some point. These numbers will be a lot bigger.
Attention
Yeah, we're only-
traders, it's algo time.
We're only going to grow the stream. But yeah, tell your friends. Make sure they have hit like and subscribe as well. So we'll be back. I mean, this week is obviously weird with the holiday, but we're doing shows every day but Thursday. And then I think everybody's back full throttle next week to start the new year. Yes, Cooper, one day we won't even be able to read the chat. It'll just be F's in the chat when my stop gets hit and then we liquidate or pop from my poor stop placement. So eventually it'll just be a press F in the chat for Nick once that happens. That's how many people we're going to have in the future. God, even time in sales is like barely moving. And I have it filtered on ES for anything more than one lots. Goodness. Did everyone have fun today? Everyone make some money today. The algo didn't even exist. If you didn't notice, the Kane algo came on. We didn't do anything. Even the algo is still hungover from Christmas Day and full of cheese, cookies, and I don't know. I was trying to make a joke there, but
Milk.
and milk. There we go. Cheese, cookies, and milk.
I definitely had too much food this Christmas.
What's up, Chris? You enjoying the 10-point range?
Expectations for an overnight in the NQ. I think we're going to stay in this range. And if we open up outside of the range, we're going to move back into it in the first 30 minutes. And that range for me is 25,800 on the high and 25,670 on the low.
Yeah. It's hard to get too excited until we really break violently, probably below like the 650s. I know we kind of wicked down there today, but until we get below that, it's basically just the bottom of a multi-week balance here. And there seems to be still a lot of interested buyers down there towards the 600s. So got to break that. Otherwise, we're probably just going to traverse eventually, like Jack was saying earlier, back up towards the 26K area.
I'll get you my PSAR studies in a moment. I gotta look. They're pretty standard. They're not. I have the acceleration factor as 0.02 and the acceleration limit as 0.2. For my PSAR.
Oh, goodness.
All right. Yes, getting close. Not that there's a lot of day to get anything out of this, but
Where is your entry?
53.5 in the ES and
Okay.
27.5 in MNQ.
Let's see if anybody wants to do anything here with 5 minutes to go.
Order filled.
Oh, Jack has been filled. So I'm gonna live vicariously through him because I ain't pressing another button today.
Let's go. I'm up 1 point.
Oh, it's happening. Let's go.
Full send into the bell. I mean, overnight VWAP sitting here. Yes, he is in fact long on yes.
Had my limit there for probably
Yes.
a half an hour.
He has.
Just the mid of the last leg. Also the high we broke out of at 140. So you look at this chart, this old leg start we broke out of, there's a fair value gap down here, mid of the leg, couple levels of confirmation or confluence, I would say, but there's really not a whole lot of time I wouldn't expect. I'm not going to hold this past like 4:15, but sometimes in the last 15 minutes we can get a little bit of a pop or drop.
Man, our relative volume fell off a cliff. Is it that bad today? I didn't even look at the total volume. I could guess, but
Yeah, my option levels. I didn't even pay attention to too many. The 1 day expected move in SPX is right here, like the low. The 1 day expected move low in the SPX is 69.03s. We're just above that. The ES's 1 day expected move in the option market is right here as well.
mm-hmm. Hey Jim.
You guys,
Jim, did you take a nap? Because I'm about ready to.
Order canceled.
well, there's excitement going on, but not in the equity markets.
Nope.
But congrats, Jack. You hit your target. That was awesome.
Yep, you almost talked me out of it there for a moment, Jim, but I held true.
No, you got to do
I'm
that.
just
Do not
kidding.
listen to me.
I'm just kidding. I know you didn't, but I'm just busting.
All right. Looks like you got one more dangling here in the ES.
Yeah, just a little lick. We'll see.
Got it. Nick, you're flat, right?
Yeah, I covered that runner. That runner got trailed out, and good enough for me.
Awesome. Well, end of the year, you never know. But, if think about it, some of these other markets are just, platinum down 13%, copper down 4.5%. We
There you go,
have
Jack.
silver down 6.5%. We got palladium down 15.5%. I mean, all the metals complexes have systematic sells, big bearish engulfing systematic sell-offs going on today. So the metals traders are either super happy or super bummed out.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane to see. When you see anything down 15%, that's crazy.
Yeah, bonds ticked up a few ticks, which was good. Tracy mentioned corn. I don't even have corn on. I do have corn. Not that much going on in corn today. Anyway, you never know. Today we have 2 more days before today's Monday, right? So Tuesday, Wednesday, closed on Thursday. Wednesday, by the way, is a full day, I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And then Friday, off to the races, full day Friday. So Thursday night, the markets open up again. On New Year's, well, let's see, that night I think they open up. I'm going to double check that for tomorrow morning.
Sorry, you said on New Year's Day? Or
Well, because
New
Friday's
Year's
a full
Eve
day,
at 5,
right?
sorry.
Yeah. So New Year's Day at 5 o'clock your time, 6 o'clock my time, everything, it's business as usual.
Okay. I'm assuming it's one of those days where then it closes in the morning.
No, I don't think so. I'm going to double check that for tomorrow
Oh.
morning. But last I remembered, it's a full out shooting match till you're going to be hungover, but you guys could do it, especially Jack, because Jack's the youngest one here. He could handle it.
I don't like trading hungover. It doesn't reflect great on my P&L, but I've done it.
I hear you, brother. I hear you. Tomorrow, I just want to read you the lineup really quickly before we wrap it up here. We have Thomas George, who's an energy and mining specialist, as a special guest tomorrow morning. He's awesome. Shai will be doing the heavy lifting there, interviewing Thomas. Tape Talk with T-Trades. We hit that at 8:45 a.m. tomorrow morning. Trade the Open with Dread Pirate, Merritt Black, and Christian from Trading Boxes. So they've been an awesome duo the last several weeks. Midday markets. Jack's back tomorrow with XYZ. Midday markets. Love it. And then after trading the close tomorrow is Leo and Selma. So we have a full day tomorrow, man. Super cool. Jack, I got to ask you about your Chicago Bears, man. Did you see that game?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I didn't stay up for the ending. I like to get to bed early on a Sunday, so I was asleep at 9 o'clock, and I woke up, checked quotes, and then I checked the score, and I saw they lost by 3 points. That was the order of operations for me this morning, but I'm glad they hung in. I mean, San Francisco played really good, and even though we lost it, I felt like pretty confident. Felt like a pretty good loss.
Oh, the last play of the game could have won it for us.
Yeah. So,
I'm saying us. I shouldn't say that for you.
No, well, you used to live here.
I know. Anyway, Nick, you're missing the excitement. Chicago Bears have a team that might be able to win something.
We'll see. That was a hell of a game last night, though.
It was. All right, you guys. I appreciate you as usual. Everybody in the chat, everybody listening out there, we really appreciate you. The best community there is. Appreciate the subscriptions. Hit that subscription button. Appreciate the thumbs up. You guys are the best, especially hanging here tough with us during this holiday. But we're going to finish, like I said, we're finishing strong. Tomorrow we'll be back 8:30 a.m. East Coast time. No, 8 o'clock a.m. East Coast time. I won't be a half an hour late. Jack, Nick, thank you much, man. Appreciate you. I just want to remind everybody the most important message of the day, please be safe out there. Be good to each other. We'll see you soon.
Take care, Jim.
Later, guys.